Howdy, 8th grade. Today we are going to do a real quick video on rates, ratios, proportions, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to show you all my strategy for doing this. So my strategy for using rates, ratios, and proportions, what a ratio is it's comparing two categories of numbers. So it compares categories of numbers. And what we want to do is to be able to expand and shrink these ratios to fit what we need. So we want to be able to simplify or expand. Ratios so that we can do whatever we need. I want to start off with a sample problem. What that sample problem is going to be, I'm wondering, what's better to buy? What's the better deal? And we're going to say I am buying apples, so I can get 5 for $4.95, or I can get 6 for $5.75. So what I'm going to want to do, it would be a lot easier to work with these if I was dealing with one can. So I'm going to find the price for one can. I'm going to label these two different stores, store 1 and store 2. So this right here is going to be store 1. I'm going to do that in pink, and store 2 will be over here. It's going to be blue. Let's start with store 1. I'm going to have cans on one side and money on the other. So I'm starting off with 5 cans is $4.95. And I want to get my cans down to 1, because if I know how much one can costs, it'll be a whole lot easier to be able to work it out. So what I'm going to do is to get from 5 to 1, I know I had to divide by 5. So I'm going to have to divide this side by 5 too. I want to do the same thing. So I'm going to see how many times 5 goes into $4.95. Well, 5 goes into 4 0 times. 5 goes into 49 9 times. I'm going to subtract my 45. Leaves with a 4 and a 5. And 5 goes into 45 9 times. 5, leaving 0. Make sure I have my decimal here. So one would be 0.99, 99 cents for a can. That's not too bad. We're going to try the next one, and I'm going to look at, in my blue, cans compared to dollars again. But this time I have 6 cans for $5.75. Sorry, I missed that period earlier. So I need to get my 6 cans down to 1. What I'm going to want to do there, to get there, is to divide by 6. So I'm going to need to do that over here too, divide by 6. And I'm going to ask how many times 6 goes into $5.75. It does not go into 5 at all, but it goes into 57. 9 times 6 is 54, leaving a 3. All right, and then I have 3 and a 5. And it goes into 35 5 times, leaving, let's see, 30, leaving 5. 6 goes into 50. Oh gosh, a lot of times. That would be 8. And at this point, it doesn't really make sense to keep going because we're dealing in cents. So it would be about equal to 96 cents. So that would be 0.96. So now I can compare the costs. So my second deal has a can for 96 cents. My first one has a can for 99. So I can say store 2 is better. I know that was a lot of long division there. So we're going to try one other one here. And I want us to do one that involves cross products. So if I ask, the question, let's see, a car is driving 60 miles per hour. How far does it go? In, let's do 20 minutes. So what I'm going to see here is I know my 60 miles per hour. I'm going to have two categories. Those are going to be miles and hours. And actually, I'm going to have miles, hours, and minutes, because I see I'm also using minutes here. So my first one is 60 miles in 1 hour. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So I know if I'm starting with 60 minutes, I need to end up with 20. So this is what I'm given. This is what I want. And I'm always going to set up my tables like that, where I start off with what I'm given, end with what I want. So I start off knowing that I'm going 60 miles in 60 minutes. And now I want to figure out how far I go in 20 minutes. So to get from 60 to 20, I'm dividing by 3. I'm going to want to do that on this side too. Dividing by 3, and 60 divided by 3 is going to be 20. So my final answer would be 20 miles right here. All I had to do was set up this table, figure out what I was doing on one side that I had all the pieces there for, do it on the other side, and I ended up getting my answer. Just like that. If y'all could please, oh, I got one other part. I'm sorry, I was looking at your practice. Got to make sure we do this. If I have something that looks like x over 5 equals 17 over 20, what I'm going to want to do is do this thing called cross multiply. So cross multiplication is where I multiply across my fraction. So I'm going to multiply my 5 times 17, and then I'm also going to multiply my 20 times x. So now to get x alone, all I got to do is divide both sides by 20, and I would end up getting 17 over 4 equals x. So again, all I did there was I multiplied diagonally the 5 and the 17, and then I multiplied diagonally the x and the 20. And that got me 5 times 17 is 20 times x. I got that x is 17 over 4. Anyways, your lesson practice goes through H today, so it's A through H. Please make sure you do that. It would make me very happy, and I will see you all in class tomorrow. Toodaloo.